So we need to close the loop on Kentucky's team roster budget here, Cart. We've been covering this week. We've been responding to reports in the last couple of days. 2 days ago, it was the Field of 68 reporting that it was $12 million. Yesterday, it was David Sisk, I believe, and just some aggregators who were spreading the message that Kentucky's roster is just over $20 million. You and I came on here and had a long conversation about that. My stance has been that both of those numbers are wild overpays if they're true. I think that you and I, in the conversation yesterday, maybe we weren't clear enough, but I think you and I both came away with the conclusion there's no way this is real. It seems crazy. Well, since then, since last night, KSR, the best Kentucky coverage you can find on the internet, shout out to Kentucky Sports Radio, has confirmed that the $20 million is nowhere near true and it is made up. That's what KSR has reported. Specifically, Matt Jones was on, I believe, a podcast with KSR yesterday and just spoke specifically on this $20 million rumor. He flatly said that it's not true. He used the words at one point, I rarely use the word definitively. I can say definitively $20 million is not what Kentucky paid for this roster. So got to do our due diligence just to make sure we're evangelizing the truth here. But based on our comment section, I know you and I read our comments. We've been getting raked for this, which confuses me because I feel like our takeaway was that 20 million's not true. That's a ridiculous number. So help me make sense of this, Cart. First off, the confirmation that it's not worth $20 million. That feels right to you, right?
Yeah, it does. I also think we're dropping the ball by not using the term like I don't like to use this term loosely, but we are unequivocally against insert thing here. I really like that bar from Matt Jones with his use of definitively in this case, and also you following that up with an evangelistically. Good grief, we're in our bag right now. But this makes a lot more sense though. Like when you actually look, because I feel like the biggest gripe, not to speak for you, because I feel like I was a little bit more like, okay, I could kind of see why maybe they paid these people. But for you, this roster at that number makes a lot more sense and maybe brings you back, at your center a little bit more that this roster is this much and not $20 million.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I like this portal class. It's really good. My general sentiment both of the last 2 days, whether we want to say it's 12 million or 20 million, is how did they pay that much? Like, even this really good class is just not worth that much. 20 million is obviously in its own stratosphere. 12 million may be true. And if you listen to Matt Jones's full report on this, like, he essentially said the 20 million number is completely made up. Now, we may spend more than everybody else, but we're not spending more than double what everybody else is spending. Matt Jones essentially insinuates that every other school is spending around 10 million. That's at the top end. Kentucky's a little bit ahead of that, but it's not $20 million. Now, first of all, I think there's other teams exceeding 10 million. Not to go in a source off with KSR. I'm not saying that they're incorrect with any of this, but like if the implication is Kentucky is spending the most just above 10 million, I would say that's probably not true. I think BYU and St. John's are both spending more than $10 million. We'll see where Michigan ends up. I know they've spent at least $8 million right now on half of their roster. So, but like to me, taking all these comments into consideration, it feels like Kentucky landed just ahead of 10 million, which to me is in the ballpark of what this roster is actually worth. We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Of course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code SLEEPERS. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video.
Is it bad that I got one of the nastiest spin zones of all time
I'm
about to
so
happen?
excited for it. What is it?
This isn't good. Let's spend 20. Let's make the rumors true.
Why? You just want like it's good to be the richest team, flaunt the bags.
In my opinion, now this could be completely false, right? Like, because to me, well, you and I are on different sides of like the Lamar Wilkersons of the world, right? Something
Yep.
like that, or even like I don't know, even like a Rodney Rice type. I don't know. If 20 million is in the cards, I do think that Kentucky could have not got into a getting out bag by anybody. Now, obviously, other situations are at play. There's rumors that Donovan Dent was like homesick. He didn't want to play anywhere but the West Coast. Um, and Wilkerson, I think, was him basically picking more money from Indiana, which to me is unacceptable. I'll lose to homesickness. I don't want to lose to getting outbagged. So if that is the case and they do have the funds and the means to do 20 million, I by all means do it. Because I think it puts you in a certain player pool to get people. Also, like if you could do 20 million, like it should be the best of the best. Now, there's a lot of different circumstances here, right? Like the whole Yaxel NBA thing was a thing. I already stated Donovan Dent homesick. Lamar Wilkerson, I think it was only money, but it maybe could have been role too. Like he didn't want to just be a guy at Kentucky or something like that. But if you have the means, I highly, highly recommend spending a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I kind of spoke on that a little bit yesterday. Look, here's my summary at the end of this. I pray that this is the last, here's how much Kentucky spent update that we need to provide. I honestly didn't even really want to come back to this video, but we had enough Kentucky people like reach out individually that were just like, hey, I don't think this is true. And I want to make sure we're at least, sharing things we think are true or defining what actually happened here. I appreciate Matt Jones for being honest in reporting this because it would have been really easy for anyone on the Kentucky side to be like, yeah, we're richer than everybody else. This is a good thing. Instead, it feels like Kentucky people do want to come in accurately like, no, 20 million is way too much. That's not real. They're also probably, maybe there's an inherent element of saying that out loud to maybe take some pressure off Mark Pope. Because as I mentioned, if this roster really spent $20 million on these players, you better win a national championship if you're spending double what everybody else is. Now, it's good that they're not. It's good that they're just slightly ahead of other people. That seems more reasonable. My final conclusion from all of this, and this is something I want every listener to take to heart. I want you and I to take to heart. I want everyone involved in college basketball at all levels to remember this and never forget it. These numbers are fake.
Mm.
Anywhere you look, unless it's a school or a player saying it, there is so much misinformation being strewed right now. It's everywhere. You are going to hear number after number after number for player for player from a different source, from someone who has the same barber as Mark Pope, from someone you bumped into the parking lot with, from a guy who knows this New Zealand 23-year-old that he's been watching for years. It's all fake. It's all rumoring. Everyone involved in this has an agenda. Information in college basketball has never been more messy than it is right now. And this should be the shining example of that. No shots intended at David Sisk, who reported this earlier this week. Obviously, I think the Field of 68 guys know what they're talking about. But I don't know where this type of rumor builds its legs. And it was not, keep in mind, Dick Vitale tweeted this. There's a bunch of real people who jumped all aboard Kentucky spending $20 million, us included. Let's not forget it again. This is the misinformation era. People are making shit up and running with it, and there's no way to regulate or define what's real.
Everything's a lie.
I think that's the conclusion, Cart.
Yeah, life's a lie.
It's like when my doctor asked me to like fill out the little pre-trip form, right? And it's
Yeah.
like do you drink? I'm like, no. Do you, how many times you work out? Oh, every day. Like
You
that's
out of your doctor?
yeah.
Oh, I was in that. You actually active? Hell yeah, doc.
Okay, that's crazy.
You thought, dog, look at me.